How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout, the YouTube show where you subscribe for up-to-date information on the cryptocurrency universe that's always up to a certain standard that you can count on. And of course, today is June 12th, 2019. We'll be talking about Holochain and all the wonderful things that can be looked forward to when we break past the limitations of the current paradigm, which I think is limited by blockchain-centric thinking. Really a firm believer that Holochain is a fine example of how we can break past beyond the limitations of thinking that are blockchain centric and sort of expand into that next paradigm of the internet, which will give people more power over their data, more power over the user experience, and of course the internet as a whole evolving in a way that I think Holochain could really pay a big testament to. And of course, this goes beyond just playing the cryptocurrency space as if it were the stock market. I think this is integral to how people operate and their expectations of just the user interface of how cryptocurrency it stands to open up a major doorway in a way that really has never been explored before. And I think Holochain is a fine example of what we can expect to see as far as the fine work that's being put in a lot of very interesting ways. So I think we can expect to see some very interesting things from Holochain. Actually going to be including Holochain in a list of my top 10 cryptocurrencies that are currently valued under a penny. It's pretty amazing how cheap it is to get a million Holochain. Really not that expensive, and I think a lot of people out there have caught on to this. I mean, especially because it's the number 36 cryptocurrency in the ranking. Very interesting to see just how the space is currently, because we're still very much in sort of that downward spot from the earlier February, of course, 2018 is sort of a blessing and a curse at the same time. I mean, we got the Bitcoin current live price right here up at 8,146 respectively at the time of making this video. And I think that it's also something to be said, something to be paid attention to when we think about the fact that the space has almost been entirely gutted of a lot of value. And right now we're just starting to see a lot of that money pour back in, which in and of itself is something that you got to give credit where credit is due. The space has had a resurgence in popularity over just a short amount of time, which I think has done a lot in the way of pumping up a lot of these top ranking cryptos. But I think that still, I mean, stuff like Neo is still $12, very much high percentages of a lot of various different cryptos are still sort of in the dust. And I think that a lot of people out there are really taking advantage of that, because altcoin season hasn't necessarily manifested itself just yet. And I think once it does, we will be seeing a lot of that value from the sort of Bitcoin centric area of the space sort of migrating over, especially with stuff happening all the way across the board. I mean, we've got the Litecoin halving to look forward to, and of course, interesting to see how a lot of these different things have been making their statement in the cryptocurrency space. And so in this video, I think it'll be interesting to discuss Holochain and exactly how peer-to-peer, how these agent-centric sort of things. Then, I mean, I've spoken with a friend of mine who's actually using Holochain currently, and they're very happy with it, with their business and how Holochain has been able to, operate. And it's very, I think, professional to a large extent. The fact that, giving that declared ownership of data, the, control of identity, these are things that are really on the tip of everybody's tongue in the technology space. I mean, when I go and speak in all these different circles of people who have these different opinions, regarding these things, I mean, this human internet sort of way of thinking is something that I think goes above and beyond the limitations of the expectations questions that people have had. And in particular, this is also one of the greater criticisms that I would give to the Facebook cryptocurrency, just because of the history with that company and how they had been treating data up until this point, selling it and all these different things that certainly need to be criticized. I think that it's also probably one of the greater selling points for something like Holochain. And if I could put out one idea into the sort of ecosphere here, basically if I could make my own contribution to the conversation that's currently happening, I would say that I would give the tip of the hat to something like Holochain for working to undo a lot of the different power structures that are out there, that probably seek to subvert the crypto space in a certain extent and sort of bring us back to the old ways of doing things. I mean, I think that in a certain way, there is that cry for the new era of crypto and the new era of sort of this management of data, and I think that it's certainly represented by the potential that's been exerted by Holochain in particular. Is a fine example of one of those cryptos that does have a lot of potential in that same regard. So I mean, those are just a few things that are going for Holochain that I think I'm glad that I've been having this opportunity to make this video and just talk about the recent developments that have been happening. It really is a miracle that we have this opportunity to build this community and see a lot of these different things as they've been making their marks. But of course, I mean, it's still, you got to stay vigilant. We don't know what's going to happen in the next sort of couple of months as things continue to move forward. We don't know if Bitcoin's going to be able to maintain itself at these levels as it's currently stands. I mean, I'm sure we'll see with time, as a lot of these different things are one to do. But I think that I would definitely predict a migration over to the altcoins. I think the indicators are there that an altcoin season has the potential to be brewing, and it's definitely at the right time. I mean, we've got XRP's been doing its thing. I mean, certainly been sort of stuck in that 40-cent range. And Litecoin, of course, speaks for itself. EOS, I'm very proud of the cryptocurrency space as it currently stands. I mean, I think it's definitely this month has been a pretty good resurgence of a lot of the different variables that we know and love when it comes to the cryptocurrency world and the things that we find to be the most valuable. And I'm interested in VeChain, interested in a lot of these different cryptos that are still valued under a penny. So I mean, there is a lot of potential still there. Of course, Craig Wright ordered to personally appear at Bitcoin Theft. Of course, this is an interesting article as well. Craig Wright has been ordered to appear personally at, of course, address allegations that, definitely interesting. A lot of you wanted me to bring that up. Well, there it is. You guys can comment down below letting us know what you think. But I think, as things continue to move forward, we are seeing the cryptos that are able to leverage their presence on the international stage, really leveraging that and having that potential. That's then making some serious, movements in the space that are really difficult to ignore. And they do go a long way, in testing the waters and seeing how a lot of the different aspects of the space have had a lot of potential to really, really take advantage of, how these things go. So, I mean, we're looking at Holochain where it currently stands, at the time of making this video. And I mean, it's also interesting to look at how Holochain has been able to stand the test of time. Of course, since its beginning. I mean, I'm one of those people who's been with this crypto from the start, so I have a different perspective on it than I would say most people. I spend hours every single day just reading the white paper. And make sure that you guys go and follow your favorite cryptos on Twitter too. Twitter really is a great resource. I know it sort of gets a bad rap from time to time, but it still is a great resource to just basically culminate all these different information, regarding these different aspects of the cryptocurrency space. And all that being said, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, make sure that you guys go and follow us on our Twitter. you could find that at CryptoTuber. As always, interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Definitely it's interesting to see how the space has been making a lot of these different developments. And then we'll see where things go from here. So definitely excited to see your comments down below. I think this has been a pretty awesome video. We've been, but of course, remember, I'm not your dad. This video is not financial advice. This video is just for educational purposes only. But yeah, overall, I think we could be expecting to see some pretty interesting things from Holochain as time goes on, and we'll continue to make these updates. It's awesome to make these updates, hear your feedback, so definitely comment down below, get the conversation started. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good one.